Derbyshire were left in a real mess after the second day of their LV County Championship match with Kent after Adam Riley chose the perfect day to start with the ball in Canterbury. The visitors would have been happy with their lot after day one when they reduced their host to 259 for 8 in spite of a maiden first-class 100 for Daniel Bell-Drummond, but the second morning didn't start too well for them as they struggled to finish off the innings. Both Adam Ball and Robbie Joseph put bat to ball well to frustrate their visitors, who would have been hoping to be batting after no more than half an hour or so. Derbyshire didn't help themselves though, as Joseph was dropped at mid-off to deny Tony Palladino his 6th wicket of the innings. What made it worse was that Joseph then pulled a David Wainwright long hop for a 6 as Kent passed 300, but only just after the bonus point scoring overs had ended. So they had to settle for 2 batting bonus points. Ball was then bowled by Wainwright for 30, before Doug Bollinger came in and played a couple of mammoth shots. Twice he struck his fellow Australian Marcus North down the ground for 6s, as 27 more runs were added for the last wicket to take Kent onto a final score of 333, something they would have been rather pleased with. When Bollinger tried to make it a hat-trick of maximums, he was stumped by Gareth Cross. He was out for 19 to leave Joseph unbeaten on 29. The morning had certainly belonged to the home side, who then never looked back for the rest of this day. After Stephen Moore hit this 4, he was the first to fall to Bollinger just after lunch. Moore's opening partner was also out in single figures, Darren Stevens finding some nasty bounce to have Paul Borrington caught in the slips off the shoulder of his bat. Bollinger then ripped out Wayne Madson's leg stump via the inside edge in the next over to leave Derbyshire on 37 for 3. The excellence of Bell-Drummond's 100 was emphasised by how difficult batting was at times on this pitch. This delivery from the brilliant Bollinger flew over the keeper's head to the boundary. Riley was on in the 18th over, and in his second he also found a lot of bounce to have Scott Elston caught by Stevens to go for a 26-ball duck. Alex Hughes was also out before troubling the scorers, Ball with a very good catch at slip off the bowling of Stevens. Then, to his very first delivery, Cross lobbed a catch off a combination of his bat and pad to Fabian Cowdrey as Derbyshire slipped to 55 for 6. That became 56 for 7 in the next over when Stevens trapped Wainwright in front for a single. In 21 balls, Derbyshire had lost 4 wickets for 3 runs. North had held up Kent for an hour and a half in making 18 runs. He was then bowled by Joseph at 77 for 8. The pitch was causing all sorts of problems by now. Palladino was struck in the body by Bollinger, a man who gave very little away. On a day when England's lack of a frontline spinner was horribly exposed, Riley then grabbed his 3rd wicket as Palladino on 24 clipped the offie out to Joseph. It was that kind of day for Derbyshire. Last man Mark Footitt did at least bring up the 100 for his side with a 6 off Riley. But it was the bowler who had the last laugh as the Derbyshire number 11 tried to repeat the shot, only to hole out to Ben Harmison. The visitors were all out for 115, with the extras top scoring with 29. Riley took 4 for 30 from 16 overs. Having only been in the field for 48 overs, Rob Keane forced the follow-on with his side leading by 218 runs, and Stevens soon removed Borrington for the second time in the day. The 22-year-old Riley was again on early and causing difficulties with both his turn and his bounce. Then a ball didn't get up as much as Moore expected, and he was also out for the second time in the space of a few hours. Stevens with his 5th wicket of what was yet another good day for him. For a moment he thought he had a 6th. Madsen was given out LBW by Rob Bailey, who then had a change of heart, and after a brief discussion with the Kent captain Key, the decision was changed. It was about the only thing that went Derbyshire's way all day long. Key, on the other hand, had the Midas touch. He gave the ball to Brendan Nash to bowl the last over of the day, and with his second ball, he had night watchman Tom Taylor held at slip by the dependable Stevens. It left Derbyshire on 32 for 3 in their second innings, and with the pitch taking plenty of spin and offering help for the seamers too, they will do well to take this game into a final day. They will go again on day 3, still needing 186 runs to avoid an innings defeat.